we are digging into YouTube advice no one talks about, but should. If you're a smaller creator trying to grow, or maybe you're just feeling a little bit stuck wherever you're at, you've probably heard the usual tips: post consistently, work on thumbnails, all that, but there are some lessons and truths that don't always get said out loud, and that's what we're going to try and sink our teeth in today. I am joined by Terence Fisher today, which is very, very, very exciting for me. It's been a long time. Hello, Terence. So stoked to have you as a guest again on the channel. How are you doing?
Hey, Claire. I'm doing pretty good. Thanks so much for having me back. Definitely excited to have this conversation with you. It's been so long. We were just talking about before we started shooting. It's surprising how much time has passed by since we last spoke on air. So looking
Totally. And
forward
it's
to it.
been so interesting going and looking at your content now and how it has changed over that
Mm.
time. And like your channel has kind of like really seems like it's really taken off, which is
Yeah.
I'm excited to chat with you about. We've got some folks in the chat already. It's so good to have you all here. Okay, my audio could use a bit more gain, I have been told. It's so good to have other creators in the chat that will tell you that sort of stuff. How's that? Is that okay? How are we hearing me now? How are we hearing me now? Yeah, that's all right. How are you hearing me now? Can you hear me, Terence?
I can hear you just fine.
Okay, let me know, folks, if I need to bump it up any more than that, and I will. Yes, so if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. We've got a bunch of awesome ones lined up that I'm very, very stoked about. The Creator Classroom can hear me much better. Oh, look at that comment up there, hiding that thing, that suggestion. So yes, for folks, so there's going to be people who are watching. There's like a new crowd now. It's been a couple of years since we've had a chat.
Mhm.
Apparently you're good, or you'd be way louder than Terence. Okay, well we don't want that. Let's hopefully it's pretty balanced now. So it's been a couple of years since you and I have had a chat, and
Yeah.
so with that comes there's a whole bunch of new people who watch my videos. So would
Mm.
you mind sharing, like in a few sentences? I know that's kind of hard to do,
Mm.
but just to give some context for this chat, like what your channel is about and what kind of audience are you serving?
Sure. So my channel is, as you see on the screen now, it's called Music Space, and I basically help musicians, like it says, monetize their talent. And that is the audience that I'm serving. I'm serving musicians who are looking to go from just having a few gigs here and there to really turning what they do into a full-time business and a full-time income to support themselves, their dreams, and their family. And I do that through a variety of content. So we talk about business strategies, marketing strategies, and even we dive into some of the music stuff itself. So it's a what I imagine my channel is sort of like a university style thing for musicians, where you can go to a university, you can have a class about this, you can have a class about that, and you can learn this over there, you can take this extracurricular course over there, kind of thing. So that's kind of the way I imagine my channel. But yeah, in a nutshell, that's what I do. I serve musicians and I help them monetize their talents.
Yeah, it's so awesome. And what I have always been so struck by, like in our conversations and also just watching your videos, like I'm not a
Mhm.
musician, but that advice that you give to musicians, like it is so relevant for all creative people, I think, which is why it's always so interesting chatting with you, having like the perspective of someone who is doing YouTube, so has very specific YouTube advice, but also generally like really good at teaching people how to grow businesses. And
Yeah, and that's really one of the unlocks that I like to share with people about YouTube. I think where a good sweet spot for creators and for everyone is to kind of find those. I know we talk about with YouTube about niching down and all of that kind of stuff a lot, and I think it's a little bit, what I've discovered is that it's a little bit of a sort of a roller coaster thing. So you kind of, it's like you're kind of going in and out of your niche at a sort of cadence. I guess for the lack of a better word. So at a sort of pace. So you can talk about the things in your niche, but make them have a sort of more broad appeal. So like you just mentioned, um, the things that will apply to everybody. So business strategy will, that's a universal thing. We all want to make more money. So that's kind of universal. But if I can take that concept and then package it as a niche idea. So, how to make money, how to develop business strategies for musicians. I'm hitting kind of the best of both worlds. So, I'm hitting the
Mm.
niche and I'm hitting the broad appeal at the same time. So, that's kind of the sort of way I've kind of conceived it in my mind. And it's really been an unlock for me once I started doing it and seeing it that way. That's when my growth really just kind of started to amass a whole lot more.
Yeah. So good. It's so good. I'm just so excited to be chatting with you. How good. Um, yeah, I have noticed. I mentioned like 1 minute ago that
Mhm.
your content style has changed so much. Like, and I'm wondering. So there's been like a bit of a craze on YouTube of not editing anymore.
Mm.
And I am just wondering how that change has gone for you, because that's something that it seems like you've really embraced, right?
I have definitely embraced that, and it's been heaven to me.
Yeah.
Although I love editing. I'm one of those people who I tried outsourcing my editing for a little while, and then I was like, oh, I can kind of do it better. So I love editing my videos myself. I love putting the B-roll in and all of that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, it was it's still a task. Those It's a excuse me, 4 or 5 hour job to record a video, get it uploaded, and get all the B roll, get the music in there, cut the shots and all of that kind of stuff. It can be a 4 or 5 hour process
Mm.
versus just sitting down and talking to the camera, maybe making a few edits here and there, and then just uploading it to YouTube. So I've definitely delved into more of that side of it more. It's allowed me to be able to be more creative in the content that I produce as well. Now, what I will say about that is that it's kind of a as with everything, you kind of as you try something new, you adopt new problems as well.
Mm.
So I found with the sort of just more non-edited style that you kind of really have to be more concise in what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You have a tendency if you just turn on the camera to just kind of start rambling. People still want some sort of structure to what you're talking about. So you just can't get on
Mm.
the camera and ramble.
Yeah.
And doing that, for a 20-minute video or even a 10 or 15-minute video, making sure you have structure without stopping and, restarting like you can do with an edit process. It's a little bit more difficult. It's a little bit more challenging, but it's not more challenges. It's just a new challenge.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I've definitely found that it works better for me. And I think it's working better for the audiences and stuff too, in terms of what I'm discovering about those videos that I've been doing probably for the last 2 months now is that I'm definitely developing more of a community style of following versus just people coming in, liking the videos and saying, "Hey, great video," here and there. If you look at some of the comments on the videos that I've done recently, it's people sharing their struggles and their problems and
Yeah.
identifying with the stuff that I'm talking about and saying, "Oh, I have this problem too." And then they're asking more questions, which helps me create more content based on their questions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win for everybody.
That's so fantastic. Is this where you started? The gospel music is dead?
Yes. And you know what? Here's the funny thing about that video. That is where it started. I did that video on accident.
Yeah.
So let me tell you the story. So I was getting ready to do that was 2 months ago. So I was getting ready to do a challenge on my channel where I was putting a 3-day challenge together for musicians to join and kind of we work on some processes. I forget which challenge I did. It was like from broke to gigging or something like that, whatever I called it. But the thing was, I wanted to start that challenge at a certain time, and my plan was to do like a promo, like an ad for that challenge and put it in one of my videos. And then I realized I was like, oh my God, the challenge is like next week and I haven't done an ad about this yet. So I
Mm.
need to get a video up real quick so I can like put this ad in the video so people can see it and know about the challenge. So it's like, let me just sit and record something right quick. I've been talking about this gospel music thing for a while. Let me just sit and record something for a minute. I recorded it, put the ad in that video, and that video, as you can see, it said what, like 12,000 views, whereas my video before that was just like a fully edited video with only like
Yeah.
2,500 views. So there
Yeah.
was a spike and there was a change in that, and that helped me discover it's like, well, it's not really about all of the editing stuff and the the fancy video processes and the b-roll and stuff like that. If you have a topic that's interesting to people, they will watch your videos no matter what format it is. So
Yeah.
that's definitely where that started for me.
Yeah, it's so it's just so good. It's so good. It's awesome to see that really working for you. And I noticed also like you have simplified your thumbnails a lot. Is that just
Definitely,
a
definitely.
still from the
It is. That particular video was, but what I have started doing is taking a because it's I always try to get a steal from the video. It just never works for me. I'm searching the video for like 10 minutes to try to find a good
yeah,
picture of myself doing a pose or something. I was like, let me just forget that. So I just
been
once
there.
I'm finished recording that, yeah. Once I finish recording, I'll just stop and take a couple of, photos here and there, just kind of understand. And then what's been the unlock there for me as well too is because I've been kind of planning out my videos in a way beforehand where I structure everything. I kind of know what I want the thumbnail to say, so I know the kind of picture I want to take when I'm taking the picture. I know what kind of
Mm.
pose I kind of want to do. Whereas in the past, what I would do for my previous thumbnails, I would literally turn the camera on and take like literally 75 to 100 pictures just of doing different poses so I can make sure that I have one. And then I would have to search through those pictures and find one, go into Canva and try this one out, see if it works. And then, maybe it doesn't work. Whereas now I'm only taking like, maybe 5 or 10 shots where I'm
Oh,
doing the pose that I
so
like, and then
good.
I'll go with those poses. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
it
are you starting with video concept, then making your thumbnails and titles, or are you doing the titles and thumbnails first and then shaping it around that?
no, I'm definitely starting with the concept first. And um I know previously in previous times in previous years where there was a lot of information about packaging and about starting with the thumbnail and title first so that you can kind of shape it around there because packaging is everything. I think what I'm seeing specifically for me, but what I'm seeing across YouTube in general is that people have kind of caught on to that a little bit, and it's kind of being seen as sort of like non-authentic. Like
Yeah,
you're gonna put this, if
interesting.
you think about packaging, if you the way I've always thought about packaging is like a Christmas gift. The typical thing, if you get a like a huge box, this big old box, and it's wrapped in all of this amazing wrapping and has a colorful bow on it, and it looks really appealing, but then you open the gift and then there's like, not much to it. It's like, well, why did you use this big box for this small gift?
Mm,
Whereas if you put the value into the gift itself, make that the big thing, the wrapping for it kind of develops itself a little bit. So
yeah.
I've kind of moved more away from that whole style of let me start with the thumbnail, let me start with this. My work process is I'll start with the video concept. If someone asks a question on my video, that gives me an idea for the next video. So I'll say, let me take this question and let me do a video about it. I'll literally just go write it out a little bit, write it out an outline, and come up with the concept. And then as I'm doing that, I'll think about the packaging. What can I title this? What can what kind of thumbnail would be appealing for this so that
Mm.
people would be inclined to watch the video.
Yeah, awesome. So you,
Yeah.
I don't know if people are noticing this about you. You're obviously very good at talking, and you do carry with you like a real sense of authority,
Mm.
which some people might not possess to the same extent as you. So if there's someone who's watching who maybe isn't as confident with speaking or yeah, isn't as confident in front of the camera, is there some advice that you would give to someone who's in that position? They've got awesome information to share, but they don't feel as confident as you.
Yeah, I think it all comes down to just talking about the things that you know. The reason I may appear confident or as confident as I may be or as authentic is because music is my entire life. I've been a
Mm.
full-time musician literally my entire life. I've never worked a 9 to 5 job. I have a degree in music and all of those things. Literally since I was 12 years old, everything about my life has been music. So it's all I know. So I'm just talking about what it is that I know because I've experienced it. I have, over 35 years in the music industry where I've been gigging and teaching and traveling and all of these things, working with people, getting, messed over by janky promoters and all of that kind of stuff. So I have those experiences and I just speak from there.
Mm.
And I think as far as the authenticity part comes in, I think that's where it comes from. I think where
Because
people
it is
have the most
authentic.
struggle is, yeah, yeah, it is. And then where people have the most struggle is when they try to talk about the stuff that they don't really know much about or that they haven't really experienced that much. And
Mm.
I think it's because they assume that they have to talk about the things that everybody is talking about. I'm seeing a lot of people, jump up in the YouTube space and talk about how to make YouTube videos and how to get a following on YouTube when they have 10 followers themselves. And
Yeah.
it's like, it's not that what you're saying isn't valuable. It probably is, but it's kind of hard to trust you. It's hard to trust that you're being authentic when it's that kind of stuff. So
Mm.
I would prefer as just a watcher of content myself to see someone talk about the stuff they know, no matter what it is. That's the great thing about YouTube now. I literally say this all the time. The name of the platform is YouTube. So whatever those things are about you, whatever the things that you've experienced in your life, if it's gardening, if it's, I don't know, underwater polo, pickleball, everybody's into that now. What are the things that you're into that you know about and that you can talk about or that excites you that will help you be authentic on camera? And that's the authenticity part of it. As
Mm.
far as the confidence part of the confidence comes with just doing it. I think what happens a lot of times is we wait. I talk about this with motivation a lot. We kind of wait till we're motivated to do stuff. And I think what I've learned in my in my years as just a person who likes to get stuff done, you can't wait for motivation. You can't wait for confidence. You have to do it while you don't have the confidence, while you don't have, those things. And doing it repeatedly over and over will give you the confidence. Once you
Yeah.
sit down in front, all of us are weird once we sit down in front of the camera for the first time. It's like a weird thing. Like
Yeah.
before the pandemic,
100%.
before everybody was online and on Zoom, nobody was doing that on a daily basis unless you were a creator.
Mm.
So it's kind of weird. But the more you do it, like the camera's literally in front of me now. I'm seeing your face. I'm not seeing the camera anymore. It's like what I'm picturing
Yeah.
in your head as I'm picturing talking to you. So it's like the camera just disappears. So the confidence comes with just repeatedly doing it over and over. So what I would suggest to anybody that's just trying to gain confidence, just sit down and record yourself. You don't have to upload it. Just sit down regularly, once, 2 or 3 times a week, talk to the camera, record it, load it on your computer and watch it back and see what you can improve. Do that consistently, get 1% better, and you're more confident in a few weeks.
Yeah.
Really simple.
Totally. It's so interesting because like I have this YouTube channel that's about how to grow a
Mm.
YouTube channel,
Yeah.
and I am still like in the very early days of growing my YouTube channel. And this is so what you're talking about, like talking about things that you actually know about. So it's been interesting for me working out, oh, how do I fit into that space? And it's like, because it's my experience and I can speak to the
Yeah.
struggles of people who are in the early days and who are feeling stuck. But then I also get to have these amazing opportunities of learning from people like you who have
Mm.
got like way more experience of like what works and what doesn't work.
Mm.
So it's a really interesting space. But also like speaking with confidence, it's like if the message that you have is really valuable, even if you are babbling a little bit, it so doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I
not at
I
all.
think, and like, it
Not
does,
at all.
it improves over time for sure, but like it so doesn't matter if you say and and
Not at all.
all of that stuff.
Not at all. I was watching a video. I can't remember. It was some business person, or I think actually Sean Cannell was maybe interviewing him on the Think Media podcast or something. I think that's where I saw it. And the guy was talking about he's a millionaire and all of that kind of stuff. And he talking about that he when he records his videos now, he literally has a directive to his editors to literally not edit anything,
Yes, I
not take
listened
out
to this
any.
podcast. So good.
Yeah, yeah, any ums and ahs or any throat clears, any take none of that stuff out because it's that builds the authenticity of it. And I was like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. So that's kind of just reaffirmed what I was doing with the
Yeah.
just let me just start recording. Let me say what I'm going to say. Of course, have a little structure to it, but let me say it how I'm going to say it and how it comes out, and that's going to be it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I
Yeah.
have got some questions. I've got a very great question here from K&J Lumber. Which title should I pick for my next video? Which is a joke. That is a joke, which we appreciate. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
But the Creator Classroom says, how do you respond to comments that are mostly negative but end on a positive note?
Hmm. Comments that are mostly negative but end on a positive note. Um. Well, let me answer it this way. Let me just talk about overall negative comments in general. I think what I've learned to do with any negative comments on my channel that come in is I literally just ignore them. I know there's a thing to, hey, you're supposed to respond to comments and all of this kind of stuff, but honestly, like it's like one of these things now, once you get to a certain level, or once you, not even when you're at a certain level, when you have your purpose and your clarity in mind about what you're supposed to be doing, it's like that stuff doesn't even bother you anymore. So it's like you see it, it's like, okay, messed up comment, like this dude's probably idiot, whatever it is. And then I move on about my day. I don't even think about it anymore. And the thing
Mm,
about those commenters like that, they usually go away. Most of those people, they're looking for attention. They want somebody to respond to their comments. They want to get into an argument about, whatever it is they want to argue about. But if you kind of ignore them, they go away.
mm.
Now, as far as a comment that starts negative but ends on a positive note, I would my first mind is to say that that's probably somebody that is at least looking to try to make good on what they're saying in some kind of way. So I would do what I call chew the meat and spit out the bones. If they are saying something that's valuable, and if that positive part of it or if that negative part of it applies, take it, apply it. If it doesn't, or the parts that don't work, spit it out. Just forget about it. It's like that kind of thing. Like, don't we? I think we obsess over these things way, way, way too much. And we're in this time now where everybody's busy. We all got stuff to do. The world is kind of in shams around us a lot. And, people are going online looking to comment on videos and stuff just to get attention and stuff like that. But you have to kind of move in your purpose and move in your clarity, and when you're doing that, that kind of stuff doesn't even it just doesn't even matter anymore. So my overall advice is don't worry too much about them at all. Don't worry about
Mm.
responding to it. Just let it stay there. You probably, if you're asking about the way that you ask that question, Creative Classroom, it's probably you're thinking about a specific comment or a specific person that did that. But I would almost venture out to say that that's probably a one off or two off where you get a few comments like that every now and then. So I wouldn't even worry about it much.
Mm. Okay, Creator Classroom says that question wasn't for me, but for others that I know need that question
Hmm.
answered.
Okay.
Yeah, it can be a really tough thing, but it's also like those negative comments, if we get into them, like if we start responding to them, which I totally have, and especially on my other
Oh,
channel
I've been
where
guilty of it too. Yes. Yes.
like I definitely have been, particularly on the other channel, been guilty of getting stuck into people. But it's like it's actually just such a waste of time, like of
It is.
our energy that can be being put towards
Yeah.
like learning or creating some content or whatever
It's
whatever
a
the
complete
focus should
waste
be
of
that
time,
day.
particularly when you're dealing with somebody who just you can tell they're just commenting to be negative. I think there's a difference, and you'll learn this over time. But there's a difference between where somebody's just kind of being critical and maybe offering some criticism that may or may not be valid. And you can look at that stuff and maybe have a conversation with them about. I've done that a few times where if people have even pointed out stuff to me, it was like, oh, well, they're actually probably right about that. Let me correct that next time. Doesn't
Mm,
happen that much, but you'll get those every now and then, and it's something that you can learn from. But
yeah.
outside of that, where somebody just comes and talks about, the color shirt that you have on or whatever, it's like something stupid like that. That's the stuff you ignore. And just be
Mm,
done with it.
yeah. If someone was, because I think that sometimes gear can have an effect on confidence.
Mm.
I certainly know that when I upgraded my microphone, this was a suggestion from Terrence. You didn't say it until I asked.
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
but yeah, if you were to watch our very first video together, my microphone is like,
Mm.
it's a nightmare. It's fingernails on a chalkboard kind of stuff compared to Terrence's beautiful microphone. I think that sometimes having some good gear or better
Mm.
gear can really help with confidence as well.
No
Um,
doubt.
I feel so much more stoked knowing that, unfortunately, this live stream started with people not being able to actually hear me, which is hilarious. But, knowing that it's not hurting people's eardrums is nice. Is
Yeah,
there,
there's a. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, for someone who is in the earlier days, what is a piece of gear that you would suggest upgrading first if they were going to?
Earlier days, the first thing is always lighting. I mean, it
Yeah.
starts with the lighting. Um, Being seen. If you're doing video, you kind of need to be seen. It's really an equal combination of lighting and audio. Whatever you can do to upgrade your audio, and that doesn't necessarily mean going out and buying a fancy mic. It could just mean recording your videos in a quieter room where you don't have
Mm,
a lot of echo and stuff like that. So it doesn't necessarily mean, having massive pieces of equipment, but I would definitely invest in something where you're lighting, where you can be seen. And the great part about this stuff is incredibly cheap now. I mean, you could literally get a $10 or $15 mic on Amazon or something like that. This is really, really inexpensive. Or even if you're using daylight, just sit closer to a window and where that, it's just many things that you can do, but just make sure you can be seen clearly on light. One of the
yeah.
things I talk about now with musicians is, and it's funny you reference gear, because I think the sort of floor and the standard for what's acceptable has gone up a little bit. When we were talking, like you were talking about now, 2 or 3 years ago, the audio that you had was acceptable. There was many people had the same type of audio, and that's just what it was. But now everybody has these mics and stuff, and those like the DJI mics and stuff like that, like the
Yeah.
mic minis and all of that kind of stuff, which I actually have attached on the back of this mic. I have that back here because I'm recording it on my camera.
Yeah.
So like, great mic. So I mean, even those kind of mics and stuff are like really inexpensive now, a little bit more expensive than like a just a basic $100 mic or something like that. But you could get something like that. But it's always definitely the lights and the audio first. If you
Mm,
correct those things, I was teaching a student of mine about a month ago. They hired me to help them do some YouTube stuff, and they were recording on a 5-year-old iPad.
yeah.
And once they got the lighting and the audio set up, it looks pretty good actually.
Yeah.
So I mean, the camera and all of that kind of stuff doesn't matter as much as your lighting and your audio.
Yeah. Particularly considering most people, I don't know about you, but most people watch my videos on an iPhone or like on a
Yeah,
mobile device. So it's like
yeah,
there's so much concern around like, oh, it's gonna be like 4K and so
yeah.
good. And it's like, well, if you're worried about serving the 2% of people that watch on a television,
Yeah.
um, I'd love to say hello to some people who are here in the chat. Snazzy Vegan Life is here. Hey,
Hey,
Claire
Claire.
and
Hey,
Terrence, hello.
Snazzy.
Awesome to have you here.
I remember you from last time.
Yeah,
She's been
yeah.
around for a while.
Louis says, I don't know if enough people think to offer constructive criticism for it to be easy to pick out. That's interesting. this is funny. Still, I don't know why we're talking to a guy in a green shirt. That'd be a valid criticism, actually, if it was a lighter shade of green. Yeah, the kind
Yeah,
of
and that's
stuff.
it's the kind of stuff that you see on YouTube, man.
Yeah,
Those kind of people that you see comment that kind of stuff is like, you just ignore it and move on about your
yeah,
day.
100%. We have Motif Music Studios in here, so awesome to see you as well. Um, yes. Oh, and James, evening all. Hand pink waving. Unfortunately, emojis don't come through to me on Ecamm. Oh, and hey, Marianne, so good to see you. Yeah. Um, so apart from the what was I talking about? The no, earlier on we are talking about these negative comments. Apart from negative
Mhm.
comments, is there something that you have noticed that smaller creators are focusing on with their YouTube channels that actually just doesn't really matter?
Um, yes, I would say that there is. Let me be careful about the way that I say. Okay, so I think analytics are important, but I think there's an obsession with them that kind of cripples creators, particularly small creators. And I know why it happens. Like I say, all of the YouTube advice on YouTube itself that you get from everybody is analytics. What's your watch time? What's your views? How many subscribers did you get? Like, so we're constantly looking at our analytics all the time, and it's like, it's a. This is what I'll say. Your analytics are not a report card. It's not a grade. It's like we look at it like we're in school. So we do a video, we go look at the analytics, and we use the analytics as like a grading system. Like, okay, this didn't get enough views, so it's a D, it's an F. It didn't get that much watch time, so it's a C. It got quite a few views, so maybe a B process. And then I think one of the worst things that YouTube did um, is that whole 1 of 10 thing.
Oh yeah.
Um, Although I think there's some benefit to it, there's always some value to stuff like that. I think it can be valuable, but that it creates a grading system for our videos. And while that can be helpful, it gives us a measure to say, okay, this video has, performed this way. I think it's the obsession with those numbers is what cripples a lot of YouTubers. Rather than
Mm,
again focusing on, let me just make the best video that I can, let me package it the best way that I can, and let me get consistently better and better at doing that. And I tell you why that's important. Because the thing is, no matter, you can do all of the right stuff. You can have a great title, you can have a great thumbnail, you could have worked on your content in your video for 2 weeks, and you could have, niched it down, and you could not say any ums and ahs in your videos like we're talking about. It could be edited perfectly and all of that kind of stuff. And it could still have low metrics. The analytics of it could be, you don't get that many views. Whereas a video like the one we just talked about, my first video where I transitioned, I did it on accident, so to speak. Just got on camera and started talking. Really didn't even have that much structure to it at all. And that was one of the videos that got most views, or at least in recent times. So I think the obsession over the analytics is the answer to that question. It's one of the things that we, not just small YouTubers and people getting started, that all of us just are obsessing over that. It's so funny when I saw your post about us doing this live stream, and you
yeah, yeah,
mentioned like the amount of views and stuff that I had a month and all of that kind of stuff. I promise you, I didn't even know that information at all. I
yeah.
looked at it, I was like, oh, is she interviewing someone else? Because I
No, that's
no,
yours.
this is,
But it's
I didn't
but
know that
people
at all
are
because,
obsessed with it, so I'm sure you will
yeah,
get a few people watching. But it totally is like I absolutely still get obsessed
yeah.
with it.
Oh, and I'm guilty of it too. So don't. I'm not pointing fingers here. I'm totally guilty of it. It's something that I've learned to kind of curtail or sub, a little bit in the past year or so.
Mm.
I don't look at them even every day. I don't. I try to maybe look every other day or something like that, or around the time when I'm getting ready to post a video. Like when we get off this stream, I'll be working on a video. I'll record a video, and then I'll start looking at like, oh, what, like the thing where it shows you when your viewers and stuff are online. those analytics. I'll look at that kind of stuff, and then maybe look at the watch time on my last video and stuff like that. So I'll look at that stuff then. But outside
Mm.
that, I don't obsess over it too much. My main focus, literally 80% of the time, is what content I'm doing. I'll look at the comments. If anybody's asking a question, I can see if that question I can turn into a video and I can answer that. That's what I'm doing now. So I don't really think about the analytics that much. So I think that's the answer to it. I think we kind of obsess over that, over the analytics and not
Yeah.
using them. I think it's important to not use it as a grading system, but just use it as a compass, as a sort of a direction thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I think if it's like helping you to guide and understand certain things about your content, like maybe you're getting lots of clicks, but people are clicking away really, really quickly, stuff like that could be helpful for shaping the opening of your video. Or like if you're not getting any clicks, maybe it's because your thumbnail and title
Sure,
just sucks or whatever. But it's
sure.
also like, I think there's a huge difference between using it in a helpful, constructive way compared to what I often do,
Mm.
which is opening it up and going, oh, not many views. That and it makes you feel like crap. Like if you're looking at
Yeah,
it, that's probably a very good barometer. If you're looking at it and it consistently makes you feel like crap, it's
yeah.
probably good not to look at it as much.
Yeah, and that's what I mean by it. It kind of cripples creators as well. Like I mean, you log into after you post a video, and then you log into your analytics 2 3 hours later and see a 10 out of 10, and it's like, oh, I failed. And you consistently getting that over and over. It's like, well, what's the use of doing this YouTube thing anymore? It's like I'm not good
Yeah.
at it, or apparently there's something I don't know, so people just stop you
Mm.
know, rather than just understanding that this is that part of it is sort of the process.
Yeah.
Like when a brand new restaurant opens, they don't have a cult following the first day or even the first week or the
Mm.
first month. Most of them don't even have it in the first 2 or 3 years. It's after that that they've been consistent and stuff over time where they've kind of built up the following. They've built some trust. The authenticity of their food is out there and people know about it. Now they have a following. So you
Yeah.
kind of have to get past that initial process, and then the looking at the analytics over and over and obsessing over it will stop you, will cripple you.
Mm. And like so like let's say people are dropping a video once a week. The
Hmm.
first 10 weeks of a video's performance doesn't mean anything anyway, because YouTube's a search engine, right? So stuff can get picked up. Like so my most viewed videos have been like not like 3 views within the first hour. Like
Yeah,
my microphone
mine too.
video, which is consistently performs well, like
Hmm.
for some reason I'm so like low tech savvy. I think that might be what people connect with. But like I just like my stuff to work. And
Yeah,
but these videos that are about really specific things, like they get viewed for years after.
years
So
and years.
that the 1 out of 10, 10 out of 10 doesn't really mean anything because it's only the first
Yeah.
10 weeks of a video's
And it
performance.
changes. That's what I'm saying. It changes because like I've looked at mine before, like it'll the first couple of hours, it'll be like 1 out of 10. And I'm like, yay. And then literally like a couple of hours later, I'll look and it's gone from like a 1 to a 3 out of 10. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, what happened? And it's like a system. I don't even understand what YouTube is judging it on. It's like how it's is it doing it minute by minute. So my previous video, like if it got within the first, say, 2 minutes of the video, it got 15 views, and then this new video got 16 views. Does that mean like that's a 1 out of 10? And then if the next minute that changes, the next minute it's like you get the first video has 17 views and then yours only has 16. It's like now mine's a 2 out of 10. It's like it's consistently changing like that. So it's like
Mm.
the grade, it's even if you're using it as a grading system, it's not really even telling you much. That's why I was like, I wish we could just turn that thing. I think actually can turn it off, but I don't
Oh,
look at
can
it
you?
much anymore anyway. So it's
Mm.
like not a big deal for me.
What I love this question so much. What
Mhm.
is one underrated habit or boring thing that has helped you grow?
Ooh, underrated and boring. The boring part is the consistency. That is the boring part. It is the writing scripts and outlines and just kind of finding that it's the process. The process of everything like that is always the quote unquote boring part. And I think it's funny you asked this question because it's something that I talk about all of the time. I think the people who win and who achieve the goals that they want to achieve, that they find ways to find joy in that boring process.
Mm.
It's the again, if the thing that you don't like to do mostly is the script writing and stuff like that, how can you do that in a way that makes you enjoy it more, kind of thing. So it's really the boring parts is just that whatever the process is, the exciting part is always the thing itself. Like once we get the video done, it's all the fully edited b-roll and the great sounding audio with music in the background. That's the exciting part once we get that. But the boring part is the day-to-day mundane. Let me look at the comments and see what people are asking about or talking about. Let me see if I can form a video from that. And maybe even using AI to me is kind of a little boring to me now, even using chat gpt, although I use chat gpt every day. But even just going back and forth with chat gpt about ideas and stuff, it's like, it gets a little mundane. It's
Yeah,
particularly when
especially
you're
because it
doing over
always
and over
tells you
and over
how
and over
brilliant
again.
you are, right?
Yeah.
You can't have a bad
Yeah.
idea with
Yeah, that's
ChatGPT.
all it does. "Oh, what a great idea, Terrence. This is a great idea." It's like,
Yeah.
"Okay, can you give me some constructive feedback here?" But,
Yes.
I mean, it's the mundane stuff. That's always the sort of boring part. It's just being consistent over and over and over again without
Mm.
stopping, without letting those metrics come in and say, um, "You're a 10 out of 10," and that kind of stuff stops you. It's just the consistency over and over.
Mm. Yeah, people are liking this. Bring the joy to the part you don't like to do.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's so good. And Snazzy Vegan Life says, I've done that and it's a game changer.
it's definitely a
Yeah,
game changer.
so
Definitely a game
good. Marianne says she asks Chat GPT to be brutal and honest.
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah,
with
you
you?
kinda have to
That's
prompt it that
great.
way, yeah.
Ecamm fam, hey, so good to have you here. Consistency is key. Something might get boring for us in terms of creating, but our audience does like the consistency.
Yeah,
Yeah, ChatGPT is your
most
greatest
it.
fan. Yes.
No doubt.
Um,
Biggest cheerleader, greatest fan, everything.
yeah, I think ChatGPT might be an even bigger fan of me than my mum, which I didn't think was
Probably
possible.
so. And you know what's funny, Claire? I was thinking about this earlier today too. I think the last time we spoke, last time we have had a live stream, we weren't even talking about AI.
Yeah, I
That's
was
how
thinking
much
that.
that's how much the world has changed and stuff since the last time we spoke. We said nothing about AI at
Yeah,
all. I don't even remember if ChatGPT
we
was.
spoke
I
about
think ChatGPT.
computers. We spoke
Yeah,
about computers being
yeah,
like the
yeah,
big
yeah, yeah,
game changer, and
yeah,
watching back, watching
yeah.
back some of those earlier live streams that you and I did together. I really was like, "Whoa, this is pre AI. That's
Yeah,
crazy."
it's so funny, and we're talking about just a couple of years ago. So
Yeah,
it's not like 5, 10 years ago. We're talking about literally just a couple of years ago, and the world has changed, and everything is AI now. So we're talking like about Chat GPT, and we know everybody uses it. It's just a mundane thing now. It's so crazy.
yeah, totally. I have to ask, do you remember the first dollar that you made through YouTube?
Yeah, I do.
And I don't
Um,
mean through YouTube partner program, just through YouTube
yeah,
somehow.
I mean, that was actually it's because I made my first dollar from YouTube or through YouTube before I got into the partner program.
Yeah, same.
It was from I think I'd started my Musicians Inner Circle monthly membership thing at the time. And I think I got the first time I advertised it, I got like 5 people to sign up for it. So I did it through what's the thing called in Stripe. So my Stripe account, that's what it was. So
Yeah.
Stripe is the thing that takes payments and all of that kind of stuff. So I saw a payment in my bank account from Stripe and it was like $120. I was like, oh my God, this is great.
Yeah.
And then I eventually got more people in and that started coming in consistently and stuff like that. So yeah, it was very exciting time. And here's the thing. I did that, I think, before I even had 2,000 subscribers. I think it was just before I got 2,000 subscribers.
Mm,
So I didn't have a large following a large fan base. My videos weren't getting many views or anything like that. So again, that's something that people can take from that. You don't have to have,
Absolutely.
you
I
know,
think I had
you.
like I had in 300 and something subscribers when I made my first money through YouTube, through
Mm,
an affiliate
yeah,
partnership. There are
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so many cool ways. I have one more question about money, and we're going to be wrapping up soon, folks, which is totally devastating. I can't believe how much time flies when we chat, Terrence.
Yeah,
Always has. So if anyone has
always
any
has.
questions, please put them in the chat, and I'll prioritize them over my own questions. But while you're thinking about that and typing those in the chat, what have been some of the best streams of income for you so far through YouTube? And have there been any that have surprised you, like maybe things that you thought, this is going to work for sure, and opposite, and it didn't work, or things that you're
Mm,
like, maybe this will work, and it's like, whoa, that's amazing.
yeah. The biggest things by far have been everything outside of the YouTube partner program. Um, and let me clarify that the YouTube AdSense is great. So a lot of people talk about, oh, you can't depend on AdSense. I mean, if you're getting some consistent money in from AdSense, that's a really good thing.
Yeah.
So AdSense is great. So I don't want to talk bad about that at all. But I think the bigger portions of finance that have come in, or revenue that have come in for me, is through things like my online courses, my inner circle program, my inner circle monthly membership, things like that, where I can, because it's a consistent thing to where you can launch and sell, over and over. It's like having a product in a store. If
Mm.
you have a product that's valuable, I don't know, an iPhone or whatever, Apple store, you have valuable products where people are going to come in your store and consistently buy your product. Um, and as I've grown, as I've gotten better, as I've gotten more knowledgeable about stuff, I've been able to offer more value to people throughout those memberships and courses, which means I've been able to increase the price of it, because the more valuable it is, of course, the more you can sell it for.
Mm.
um so those have been the biggest things for me. And I think, the as far as the surprise, I can't really say that there was anything that surprised me either way. Like, I was thinking like this was going to do really, really well and it didn't, or I didn't think something was going to do well and it just like flopped or whatever. So I don't know that it was a thing either way. Not much really surprises me, because I always kind of, when I'm thinking about stuff, I always kind of plan for both outcomes.
Yeah.
So like the video that I just mentioned, where I kind of did that accident video because I was putting an ad in it for a challenge.
Mm.
That challenge, um that I did, that 3-day challenge, I think I had about 150 or 200 people, so people signed up for it. My expectation was like, okay, if I get like 40 or 50 people, I'll be great. That'll be cool for me. And even in my mindset with that, it was like, okay, I want to get 40 or 50 people, but if it's only 10, I'm still gonna do it like I'm talking to 1,000 people. So
Yeah.
it's like, as far as like surprises, nothing really surprises me that way, because I've learned to take everything now as like a test. I think we may have talked about this before, but I kind of see everything as like a test. Let me try this, let me test it. Let me see the results I get from it. And
Yeah.
then I can make decisions from there. And that keeps me from being in that mindset of like, oh, this has to succeed, or oh, this is not going to work thing. It's just like, this is a test. This is an experiment. Let me see what results come from it and what I
Mm.
can learn from it. And it's just as simple as that for me.
That's awesome. That's so
Yeah.
good. What do you think's the biggest misconception about growing on YouTube right now?
Biggest misconception. Oh, virality. I think people think you have to go viral, and you just do not. You do not have to go viral. I think we're all looking for these viral moments. Like, what is this thing that's going to set me apart? And there's a couple of reasons why that. I'll try to keep it short. So, one, what happens is it's like winning the lottery when you don't know money well. So go viral, you get all of these influx of subscribers and followers and all of that kind of stuff. Now you're kind of lost. You don't know how to keep them. So they eventually go away. So you have a number count on your channel, but your views are low because nobody's watching your stuff anymore. So virality will kill you, or
Mm.
kill your growth in that way. The second thing is that the chase of virality itself It's literally like chasing the lottery. It's like going to the store, buying a lottery ticket every day and expecting to win. It's like, how do I get this big thing? Rather than, if that's the way you want to get rich, that's, your choice. You can do that. Or you can, let me try to work hard every day. Let me learn some skills to get better every day, make myself more valuable every day so that I become a valuable person so I can charge the same amount of money that I would win in the lottery. So it's kind of like that, the chase of a dream kind of thing that's so far fetched for everybody, and it doesn't even yield the results that most of us want it to yield. Of
Mm.
course, we get the vanity metrics. We'll get the, oh, we have 100,000 subscribers. We got a YouTube play button and all of that kind of stuff. All of that stuff is cool. I'm not saying I want one myself, so I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that if that's your goal, the virality thing kind of will get you there, but then you'll be in a place where it's like you don't even know what to do anymore. You don't have
Mm.
your followers are, we always talk about the sub for sub thing and why sub for
Oh,
sub is bad
yeah.
and like these Facebook groups. It's kind of like that thing. Like you'll have the metrics, you'll have the amount of subs in your channel, but you don't have the people that's watching your content. You
Mm.
won't build community from that. You probably won't even be making any money from that. The
Totally.
one of the famous stories that illustrates that point so well is that there was a story, it's about 4 or 5 years ago now, this TikToker that was really famous. It was a young lady and she got, I think, over like 3 or 4 million followers or subscribers on TikTok. And she thought it was everything. And then she tried to host an event, like an in-person event, and literally nobody showed up for it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, nobody showed up for it.
Mm.
And she was like devastated and people were talking about that. But that's like the poster child example of like, having the number doesn't build community and it doesn't ensure people are going to pay for what you do, give you money, or give you their resources in any kind of way. So that's a long-winded way of saying I think the chase of virality is the biggest sort of downfall and misconception that a lot of particularly smaller creators are chasing, and they shouldn't be.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. Snazzy Vegan Life says, this is such tremendous insight. Yeah, it really,
Snazzy.
really is. It's, oh, so, so good to chat with you. I love chatting with
I
you.
always love it. I always
I,
love it.
it's so much fun. I'm going to have to wrap up because I can hear my daughter out there chirping away, and I got to take her to childcare. But hey, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in, and thank you so much, Terrence, for joining me.
It's
And
my pleasure.
if
Thank you
this
for having me.
wasn't enough of Terrence and Claire chatting for you, I'm gonna link a video here where you can watch like a whole bunch more of these chats. Or if you're watching the live right now, you're not going to see that, but you can go on my YouTube channel, scroll back through my lives, and there's a whole bunch of Terrence's gorgeous face. And yeah, great. Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Take care, everybody.